want to stick with our exclusive NewsNation poll. More than 90% of respondents say they are concerned about chemical warfare in future conflicts, although those weapons of mass destruction are banned by the United Nations. Now, correspondent Tom Negevin is live at the UN in New York. So, Tom, Russia's actually already accused of using these weapons, and not just in Ukraine.
You know, and that's been a big topic of conversation inside a closed-door session of the UN Security Council this week, Nichole. Accusations flying among the U.S., the U.K. and Russia over the manufacture and use of those weapons. No proof offered, but reports tonight that proof can be found on the ground in Ukraine.
As the bombardment continues, Ukraine's president accuses Russia of using white phosphorus on civilian targets. A photo from the Kyiv Post appears to show it. It was used in Syria in 2016, considered one of the cruelest weapons of modern warfare. But even white phosphorus is not strictly banned as a chemical weapon. Russia, Ukraine, and the U.S. all have it. Far more worrisome to world leaders is what Vladimir Putin has already used in peacetime on foreign soil, like the Russian-made nerve agent Novichok, used on Kremlin critic Alexei Navalny. A tablespoon could wipe out a town. Radioactive polonium, used in London to poison a Russian defector. Even the dioxin in Agent Orange, used on Ukrainian presidential candidate Viktor Yushchenko. Experts here in the U.S. believe, despite Moscow's denials, the attacks were meant to show the world what it has and is willing to use.
There's chances of a mistake. There's a chance of misinterpretation. So Putin misinterprets what NATO is doing. We misinterpret what Putin is doing. And then things get much more dangerous.
And tonight, NATO leaders, worried by Russian rhetoric, falsely accusing the West of preparing for a chemical or biological attack.
And we have seen before that this way of accusing others is actually a way to create a pretext for do the same themselves.
And for a bit of new reporting on this tonight, we're hearing from the White House that the administration has actually formed a specialized team, a task force, if you will, Nichole, to formulate what the U.S. response could be or should be should Moscow use weapons of mass destruction, chemical, biological, or nuclear. And the fear is this, that is what they may resort to if they feel they are pushed back further into a corner, given how horribly, frankly, their campaign is going in Ukraine. Nichole?
Yeah, certainly never a bad thing to prepare. All right, Tom, thank you. Thank you for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.